How long has he been following us? A different voice this time. Since 16th Street, maybe longer. Red and yellow lights began flashing at the edge of Jonathan's vision. He blinked, and darkened shapes appeared again. He had a terrible headache, and it was getting worse by the second. Jonathan Shelby, the man holding him read. Correction, Detective Jonathan Shelby. He couldn't see it, but he heard the soft slap of someone catching the leather wallet that held his badge, heard someone muttering half-hearted expletives. He blinked again and was relieved when his vision cleared a bit, revealing a dirty streak of oil and sludge inches away from his face on the pavement. He was losing feeling in his arm and fought for breath. He hoped for a split-second opening when the guy on top of him would relax. A quick roll and a kick should be enough to stand him up. This voice spoke with authority. Obviously the boss. Jonathan felt the pressure release on his back. The man, surprisingly strong, gripped the back of his head and dragged him to his feet. He cranked Jonathan's arm harder, behind him. Then, before he could do anything significant, the second guy stepped close and placed a blade under his chin. Jonathan blinked again, letting his eyes adjust to the stark evening gray of the alley. Okay, he thought. One guy trying to break my arm and yank the hair out of my head, a second one dangerously close to cutting a second mouth in my neck. Not good at all. The boss stepped closer and appraised him. After a moment, he reached out and placed a finger under the detective's chin, gently adjusting the position of his profile. Jonathan started to speak, but the boss frowned and shook his head. Jonathan took the hint. The boss reached inside his coat and pulled out a cloth, a handkerchief perhaps, or a bandana. Jonathan couldn't tell. The throbbing in his leg threatened to make him stumble, but the knife at his throat provided motivation for him to support the bulk of his weight on the right leg. The boss dabbed the cloth at the blood on Jonathan's face, wiping it away from his eyes, brushing it back into his ear and hair. Jonathan glanced desperately toward the alley entrance and the row of shops across the street. He knew this part of town well. The bookstore, coffee shop, the sandwich place, a shoe store, the little art gallery on the corner. It was just past quitting time for most folks. Maybe one of those little doors in the back of one of those little shops would open, and a laughing group of employees would discover what was going on in this hidden alleyway. Maybe help would come. Then again, maybe not. The boss folded up his cloth now and stuffed it back into a pocket inside his jacket. He spat, carefully avoiding Jonathan's shoes. Finally he spoke. "He'll do." Jonathan felt panic finally break to the surface. He screamed for help and shifted hard to his right. The knife nicked the surface of his neck, but he didn't care. He just knew he had to get out of this alley, right now. He could not be taken, could not. The third man twisted Jonathan's arm until it loosened in its socket, pushing down until Jonathan's legs gave out, dropping him to his knees. Then the man pressed a meaty forearm against the detective's larynx to silence him. "Sedate him," said the boss calmly, "and put him in the trunk. We've got some errands to run before going home tonight." Jonathan felt his tongue go thick when the big man released the pressure on his throat. He tried to take in a fresh gulp of air, ready again to yell for help. Then the sting of a needle in the back of his neck sealed his despair. "But I promised Aurora I'd be home by 6, he thought absurdly. He fought it for a moment, but too soon his body involuntarily relaxed, and the night came crashing down in pieces. Jonathan blinked again, felt the goon finally let go of his mangled arm, saw the streak of oil and sludge near his face again. He struggled to maintain consciousness, feverishly twitching on the dirty concrete, but he knew it was a